Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. If you want to follow along, we're going to be looking at two verses, Proverbs 24, beginning in verse 8. And this is a good lesson. Probably be good if we could teach this to the whole country today. And you'll see as we move through these verses. Beginning in verse 8, he says, "He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men." These two verses, this proverb, really is the polar opposite, as I read them, to everything that Proverbs is about. Proverbs teaches us to live our life by wisdom, godly wisdom, to conduct our affairs, our family, every element of our life, all the affairs of life, that all that we do. And eventually Proverbs pretty much touches on everything from friendships to work to home to our relationship with God, that all of it, we conduct it with wisdom. Here we see the warning about even planning or thinking about wickedness, that we don't, a wise man does not even plan wickedness. And he tells us why. He says, if you do, you will be called a mischievous person. Your name will be, you will be associated, characterized by that trait. That's how people will think of you. You'll be called a mischievous person. And I think back many years, seems like another lifetime now, of a man that I worked with, and he worked in several different locations in our company, and in every one of them, he got a reputation as a troublemaker. And when he would then transfer to another one, though the place where he was going, before he ever got there, would already have his reputation preceded him, I believe is the statement. And in fact, I heard one supervisor on one occasion say he is a cancer among our other employees. Now, how true all that was, one could debate. But once you get that reputation, it's difficult to overcome it. And so he's telling us here, don't even think about. Don't notice it doesn't say don't do evil. It says don't devise it. Don't even think about it. And he says, goes on in verse 9, he says, the thought of foolishness is sin, scorner is an abomination. No wise person, or even remotely wise, wants to be around somebody who is a troublemaker, somebody who, to use the biblical phrase, devises to do evil. Because again, it's contagious, and people will avoid that, and especially the wiser they are, the more they will avoid it. And so one of the things that really jumped off of this out of this proverb to me, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, verse 9, the first line says, the thought of foolishness is sin. The sin begins with the plan, not the actual deed, but the actual plan. And, I think about, kids a lot of times, and I'm sure I did the same thing, at some point. Parent say, well, I'm not doing anything, but you can look at their face and say they're thinking about it. and so he says we don't even think about it. We avoid even thinking about wicked things. And so, what a lesson for us, a great lesson for us today, to keep, and it goes back to the biblical teaching of keeping our mind fixed on things above, keeping our mind pure, of being transformed by the power of God, not conformed to this world. There are just numerous biblical passages that support this very thought, that we have to be careful in our thoughts, that we don't even think wicked. Think about that today, and guard your thoughts, guard your plans, and that we don't become known as mischievous. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.